Okay, we're going to continue solving natural logs here. So we're still looking at natural logs, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to write what we have up here so that you can remember. So I'll write it right across the top here. Y equals log base e of x is the same thing as y equals ln x, that's natural log x, or we could say x equals e to the y. And I think if you see those, it might help you just to remember what we're doing. So we're using these right here as our reference to work these examples, okay? All right, so we have 3 times e to the x plus 2 equals 24. Now, the first thing we have to do is get rid of that 3 because it can't be over there with our e to a power. So that's being multiplied, so to undo, we divide. That gets rid of that 3. So we're left with e to the x plus 2 equals 8 because 24 divided by 3 is 8. All right, now, remember this represents natural log. So we have e to the y equals x. I can rewrite it like this. So this is going to be the natural log, because it's e, log base e is the natural log. The natural log of 8 is going to equal this x plus 2, this exponent. All right, now to solve for x, we're going to subtract 2. Now, I mentioned this in a previous video, but do not try to do 8 minus 2 and make that 6. That does not work that way. This means the natural log of 8 minus 2, once you take the natural log of 8, is equal to x. Okay, so let's go to Desmos and type this in and see what we get. So, in case you're on main, you need to go to function, FUNC, and then right over here is your LN button. So the natural log of 8 and then minus 2. All right, we get 0.0794. So let's just put that, 0.0794. So we get x equals 0.0794. Since I didn't give you any specifications on how to round it, we'll just do 4 decimal places there. Okay, for the next one, 2e to the x minus 2 equals 18. Now, hopefully you recognize that these two are very similar. This one had a 3 in front, so we started by dividing by 3. This one has a 2 in front, so we're going to start by dividing by 2 on both sides. That gives us e to the x minus 2 equals 9, because 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay, now we can take the natural log. We're doing very similar to what we did in this problem. So the natural log of 9 equals x minus 2. Okay, now we can't have this minus 2 out here anymore, so we're going to add 2 because we want to solve for x. All right, again, this is natural log of 9 plus 2. You cannot say the natural log of 11. You can't say 9 plus 2 and make that 11. You cannot do that. Okay, now it becomes a calculator problem. So we're going to key in the natural log of 9 plus 2. All right, we get 4.1972. So this is x equals 4.1972. That's our answer. Okay, e to the x divided by e cubed equals e to the 2x. Now, if you remember your properties of exponents, when you have like bases, you subtract the exponents. So we could rewrite this as e to the x minus 3 equals e to the 2x. Now we have like bases. So when you have like bases, you can set the two exponents equal to each other. X minus 3 equals 2x. Okay, we're going to subtract x from both sides. That gives me negative 3 equals x, which will be my answer. Okay, this one and this one are very similar, so I want you to pause the video and see what you can do with this one before I work it. Or at least the first step. Okay, hopefully you recognize that we had the same thing here, so we could subtract these exponents. So this would be e to the x squared minus x equals e to the 6th. Then, since we have common bases, we can set our exponents equal to each other. X squared minus x equals 6. Now this squared makes it just a little bit harder for us to solve. So I'm going to first move that 6 over here. So that gives me x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. Now we have to do something that we have not talked about much in Math 3 so far, but we are getting ready to talk about it. Factoring. We have to factor this. Okay, this is where you had to use the diamond method. Let's see if you remember the diamond method. You have to get -6 to multiply, and then it has to add to give you -1. And you had to come up with two numbers there. Well, these two numbers here are going to be a -3 and a +2. And then you said, okay, that means I've got x minus 3 times x plus 2 that equals to this x squared minus x minus 6. Okay, now we solve these two equations. We solve x minus 3 equals 0, and we solve x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, to solve this one, we're going to add 3 to both sides, which gives us x equals 3. That's one of our answers. And down here, we're going to subtract 2 from both sides, which gives us x equals -2 as our other answer. So this one actually has two answers that will work. Okay, for h, we have e to the x minus 2 equals 12. So we're going to have to rewrite this as a natural log. So the natural log, that means you've got a base e down here. Natural log, that's where your base e comes from. Natural log of 12, this thing over here has to equal x minus 2. Now you don't have to put that e in there. I just put it in there again to show you what I was doing. All right, now we're going to add 2 to both sides. All right, again, you do not add 12 plus 2 and make 14. Do not do that. This is the natural log of 12 plus 2 equals x. All right, this becomes a calculator problem. So we're going to go to Desmos and we're going to type this in. Natural log of 12 plus 2. All right, we get 4.4849. So x equals 4.4849. All right, on this last one, we're going to subtract 2 to start with because we've got to isolate that e to the 2x actually. We've got to isolate that. All right, so this would be 4e to the 2x equals 14. We're going to divide both sides by 4 because we got to get rid of that 4 that's with the e to the 2x. So e to the 2x equals 14 divided by 4. If you do that, you get 3.5. Okay, now we're going to rewrite this as a natural log. So the natural log of 3.5 has to equal 2x. All right, to solve this, to solve for x, we're going to divide by 2 on both sides. Now, you're not going to do 3.5 divided by 2. You're going to do the natural log of 3.5 divided by 2 to come up with your x. So let's go type that in. Okay, so we have the natural log of 3.5, and then that's divided by 2. And we get 0.6264 because that's 3/8, so that's going to be 4. 0.6264. 0.6264 will be our answer. All right, guys, I know these are a little harder, so if you're having trouble with it, let me know.